There we go, less than a minute.
Today I'm in the wood yard. I'm at my dad's place and we're trimming trees. Here we go. So my dad's been a tree farmer for how long?
40 years.
40 years. You started, how old were you?
Well, I'm 82 now, so 42 years old.
Yeah, long time ago.
Yeah.
And when you bought your land, you had how many acres? Like 120?
112.
112. And then you sold some off,
Yep.
and now you've got how many?
65.
65 acres. And to have the trees did what for you? It made you extra money, right?
Yeah, a lot of extra money.
Yeah. So
People that had cows and sheep don't make a tenth of this. And
Yeah.
it's more work with animals. Anything with 4 legs and a heart, don't raise them. Everybody else is doing it, but trees,
Yeah.
they shy away from it because it takes 10 years.
that's the same thing as firewood. Everybody thinks, oh, you know, I'm going to cut wood and sell it right away. It takes a year or two to
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
get to where you got
Yeah.
product to sell. So with your trees, you started at first with seedlings, right?
Seedlings. No, seeds.
Seeds, right.
I bought 5 pounds of seeds.
Right.
And one shovel, once they come up, one shovel is 400 trees right there.
Really?
Then I picked them like that, and then I planted them in rows that far apart. And then when they got this high, I dug them up again.
So once they got, what, 2 years?
Just 1 year. 1 year in the seed bed, and
Right.
1 year, and
So,
then
yeah, 2
called
years.
2-year-olds. Yeah.
And then you plant them as 2-year-olds, and they're about that
Yeah,
big.
about
They just
that
start
big,
to fork
yeah.
out, right?
Yep, yeah.
And then these are all balsams,
All
right?
balsams, yep.
And you're about as far south as you can go for balsams, right?
Yeah. You can see balsams down in Milwaukee, but it's on the north side of
Right.
this church or something where they
Yeah.
have to have cold ground.
But as far as growing them, though, you can't be much farther south, right?
Yeah, you like it's better here.
Yeah.
What happens is the ground temperature gets too hot. Some
Right.
guys will throw a board or a shingle on the south side, and that keeps that ground cool. But if you got, the worst thing you do is cultivate and get all sand around there. It's too hot for the tree. You
Right.
think you're doing the tree a favor, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're killing it.
Well, when it gets to be the size that these are about 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds.
About
now?
4-year-olds, yeah.
Yeah. Me and my dad planted all these.
Yeah.
Me and Kenny dug these up in Kenny's wood yard, actually. We dug this
Yeah.
field right here, and then I planted about another 120 or something like that in my wood yard. Plus this, plus I planted, maybe another 400 on my buddy Bill's land. We planted a bunch there. But this here is kind of a little farm he's got going. And the reason you do this now is extra money, first for selling the trees, but also it helps with taxes, right?
Right. If
Forest
I didn't
crop.
have these trees on here, my tax would be twice as much.
Right.
So I keep until I die. You gotta have half your field on
Right.
40
right.
acres of trees. You
Yeah.
just can't have 1 acre. You got at least 21 acres.
Yeah, so this is just the youngest stuff. Now you
Yeah.
got a bunch of big ones over there
yeah,
too,
yeah,
right?
yeah, lots
so now,
of them.
when you were selling, your first year, how many trees did you sell? The first year you sold them?
Well, like these, they take about 7 years. You start taking the bigger ones like this off. He needs another year
Yep.
or 2 years. But then there's more every year. When they get about 10 years old, then they're really coming online. But you want that, and then you can harvest these up to 15 years old. It's a good thing to grow different.
Right.
Otherwise, you'd have too many in one hand.
Right. So when you're starting to harvest, like your first year, how many did you actually have the first year?
About 100,
And then from there, what happened?
200, 300, 400. And by the time they're 10, 12 years old, then I was selling 800 a year.
Now you sold some in bulk too, right? To a guy that bought them and then
yeah,
resold them.
yeah.
So how many did you sell when you did that?
Oh, I can't
Hundreds
recall.
at a time?
I don't see that number
A
on my
bunch.
TV here. I pay taxes, you know.
So
Don't quote numbers.
So a bunch.
A
But yeah,
bunch.
and when you sell them, you're selling for about $40 a piece.
40, 45, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of going
But
around.
then,
here, yeah.
then some are only going to be 30, 25, but
If
they'll
it's a smaller
average
road.
40. If the top is 50, they'll average 40.
Right. And you sell some really big ones too, right?
Oh yeah, I sold 18, 20 footers, yeah.
Right. And what do those go for?
Well, it depends. $5 a foot.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
So that's a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's
they haul them.
Yeah.
Just cut them down. You got to haul them.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna do a little bit of trimming here on his thing. So you did fertilize some of these too at one time, right? Didn't you?
Very
throw-
little, very
just-
little.
just to
I
see a
got
weak
pretty
one?
good soil. This is river bottom soil. If you see one that's off color, just a little handful of fertilizer.
Yeah. And watering.
Yeah, watering, probably 2-3 years go by, you don't have to water, but you get that 1 year, you can lose everything.
Right.
This
right.
is just rich sand here. It's
Right.
good
So
sand.
He's got 2 ponds right back here. There's about a 1 acre pond right
1 acre and
on
an
the
8
other
acre.
side back here, and he's got about a 7 acre pond, and
Well,
then there's
7
a half acre pond
Yeah,
up
I
there.
got ponds all over, yeah.
And he's got pumps so he can water them whenever they
Yeah.
need them and when they get
And
stressed.
it's easy. It's easy water and just walk around. You can sit in one spot, and I got a fire hose on, throws a blast at her, and it pushes out about 5 gallons in 10 seconds. You sit there and bang, 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 bang. As far as you, they don't reach out there, well, 30 feet.
Yeah.
And then you move on. So it don't take much to water them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it saves their life.
Yeah. Well, that's neat.
That one drought year, I don't know what year it was, I can't remember, it was 20 years ago, it was really bad. I had to water them because it was so dry in the spring. So I watered 1 week in June. I was watering from 7 in the morning till 10 at night. But I saved them all. June, July, August, September, every month I had to water a full week, morning to dark. Sometimes out there 11, 12 o'clock at night, but I saved them all.
Yeah.
And guys that come to me, they said, how'd your trees come out? Good. I said, how'd yours? He said, I lost them all. I added up $500,000 of trees. I said, why don't you holler? I got a pump, I got ponds, you at the river there, we could have saved them all.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you gotta have water, just like people.
Yeah.
They need water. And the more water you give them, the better they grow.
Yeah, not very
Especially with
often.
the sandy soil. So you
yeah.
gotta keep them wet.
There's some years you don't have to water at all, half of the time.
Right.
Then some years just once.
So these never got watered this year. We had a lot of rain.
One
Oh,
time. I hit them one time. Yeah.
We had one dry spell.
Yeah, I hit them with.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are doing good.
So these trees were planted the same time as the one I planted, the ones I have in my wood yard, and the same time I planted at a buddy's land. So me and Kenny dug up about somewhere between 800 and 900 total.
Yeah.
And we planted these, and we planted it at my buddy Bill's, and then at my place.
Yeah.
And they're all starting to come up pretty
This
big
year and
now.
behind, you want to cut the grass around, or at least that far around. This year, this patch didn't get that because you know what happened. The summer Ma died,
Yeah.
and everything is through in a wrench in her.
But now he's got to get them trimmed because now is when they need to get done.
Yeah.
All the growing is done for the year. So we're going to do some trimming. So
Let's show them this tree right here, what we're going to do.
Yeah, we'll come on over there. What do you got to say about it?
The back up, show the tree too.
You can see it.
Okay.
Go ahead, talk away.
No, this tree right here, he needs about 2 more years and he'll be sold for about 50 bucks. All you do is, you're coning it out. Just take this stuff, take half that off, just cone it down, and then have the predominant straightest one up here. This one stays. You cut this one down here, and this one off down here, and this is your baby. This little crook don't mean nothing, because you're going to take most of that off. This off, that off, and you leave this much of this one right here, that middle one. And then it takes less than a minute each tree. You watch when I'm trimming. You go up and down, just a rocking motion, and your body gets used to that. And this just how fast you can do that tree. This machine I got replaces at least 10, 12 men with shears and clippers, because you just keep on, you never wear out. The other guy, he's tuckered out. And it does a better job because when you drop, it's nice and straight like that on the side.
So this machine you got, let's go over and take a look at it.
Okay.
I like your high-tech holding system back here with your tape. That's pretty fancy.
Yeah. You got that nice and tight on there? Okay. This is going to be a real nice tree here. It's got perfect shape. And it's got a corner out here. There we go, less than a minute. 1 minute. Less than 1 minute a tree. No one here. That's your predominant leader right up there.
Nothing over here yet.
There you go.
That's pretty.
Good enough?
Okay, so you saw the master with his toy. Now we're gonna get my toy out. We're gonna start this up and I'm gonna do some trimming and he's gonna film me. So what do you got to say about this gas motor?
It does the job, but it's heavy, noisy, and smells.
He doesn't like noises. I wear earplugs.
And it's heavier.
It weighs about 1 pound more.
Oh,
Maybe a pound and a half, maybe.
okay, let's get her on film.
Okay, here we go. Just follow me. What did I do? Do I pass the test?
Good. It's still heavy and noisy. It does the job, though.
It does the job, yeah.
What can I say?
It is a little bit heavier. I agree with that, but it's pretty fast
Heavy,
too.
noisy, and loud.
Oh, I have earplugs. So there you go. I'm going to trim some trees now. So there it is. The trimming is complete. We just trimmed 400, 450. My dad thinks there's like 500, but I think it's more like 450-ish altogether here. So we just trimmed, because there's a few empty spots I could see where trees died, but he said he counted them last year and he said it was over 450, so whatever, doesn't matter, they're trimmed. So that job is done. You saw my brother Eric stopped in because he just lives a little ways from here. He stopped over and he took my dad's backpack and I used my trimmer. My trimmer, the gas one, the little Husqvarna, is a little faster, but it's harder on your arms. My arms are tired just from that. It takes, I don't know, 45 minutes, not even an hour, I don't think, to do all those. And my dad's backpack trimmer with the electric is just a wand that goes up and down. It's all counterbalanced on the back, so my brother said, like, you know, he could go all day long. Whereas for me, I would have been good for another couple hours. My arms would be pretty tired. Plus, because it's a consumer model, it doesn't have a lot of the, my Husqvarna doesn't have a lot of the dampening as far as anti-vibe. So my hands are a little tangly. I should have had some gloves on. I wouldn't want to use it all the time, but for a little job like this, it's no big deal. Well, now we're going to ride over to the other part of my dad's property where he's got a whole bunch of bigger trees. I'm going to show you those. These are just the little ones here we just trimmed now, so we're going to ride over there next. So now I'm in another part of the property where he's got a lot of trees that he purposely let go because he wanted them to grow up, so that this would be land that would be great for building on. It would be, you know, areas with some nice trees, because he doesn't want to keep going, because he's 82, he doesn't want to keep going with the tree farm as much. But there's a lot of them in here yet that are still growing that we will trim these down, and there'll be all kinds of them in here, you know, sporadic throughout. We've been harvesting here for, geez, 20 years at least. So he's got some that are coming up in here, and some of these are called stumpers. They'll grow up from the bottom after you cut them off. And but there's a lot of them in here yet that are really nice trees. We just got to trim a few of these up. And so yeah, and there's the bees over there. So he still has hundreds of trees like these that are sprinkled throughout here. This is the spot I'm on right now. It's kind of the original 40 acres that he had. And so there's trees all over sprinkled through here. And he's got roads going diagonally through the whole property, so we can access it, cut the trees, drag them to the road, put them on the big wagon. We got an old hay wagon we put them on. We can usually get like 40 trees at a time, take it to the house where he sells them, or up to his lot, which he used to do. He used to sell it a lot, but there's a lot of really nice trees in here. They just need a little touch up. for this year, and they'll be harvestable. He figures there's, I guess, somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 or 500 nice ones in here that he could sell in the next couple of years. I know he's been toning it down the last couple of years because my mom was sick, so he wasn't going too hog wild with selling trees. He usually, I think in the last couple of years, he's only sold like, somewhere between 100 and 200 a year, which is enough, just enough to keep him busy. But you can see if you look over there, you know, there's kind of trees all through here that are harvestable. And he has some people that will come and cut their own too, some people that want big ones. And he sells some really, really big ones. Like this one you see right here, that's probably I don't know, that's probably a 25 footer right there. And he sold them that big already to people that want big monsters or like for churches and things like that. And so that's the big money trees. Those are hundreds and hundreds of dollars for the big ones like that. But there's a lot of little trees all through here, as you can see. Yeah, it's quite the property. And he's got, I believe it's somewhere in the neighborhood of a 1/4 mile of river frontage. So that's behind where the camera is right now. Right now that's west that way, so to the east is where the Wisconsin River is. So it's got river frontage all along there. So you can see there's trees all through here. And not like it's Christmas tree farm that's, you know, operational, where you're really keeping them trimmed and really harvesting all of them in big batches like the commercial guys do. It's more or less a hobby type thing, but he's got lots of them in here. I mean, I'm just barely making a dent in the edge of the 40 here, so I'm gonna walk over to the other side now. So up on the hill, not gonna go up there, but there's a whole nother, about 20 acres up in there that's all trees, all different sizes, just like I just walked through. But I'm not gonna go up there because I think you saw enough trees for today. So there they are, lots of trees. I'm gonna walk back. You can see the road he's got going through here with some of these really big trees that he's just letting grow. And so a lot of nice trees over the years. I don't know the numbers, but I think because he did this for 20 some years, and some years he sold almost as many as 1,000 trees, but a lot of years it was, you know, 600-700 a year. And so we've caught and hauled a lot of trees over the years, just kind of as a part-time thing, for something for him to do for his retirement plan. That's what he always called it. But I love being out in the woods and cutting the trees, even if it's not firewood. This is fun, just trimming them. When you trim them, it smells just like Christmas. So there you go. So that's it for today, folks. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. You know what to do. Hit the buttons, hit the like, the subscribe, the share. Thanks for watching. I'll be back here tomorrow. You should come on back. It'll be fun. Between now and then, get outside, get cutting. Good night, Irene.